Hey geeks, I'm Trey Guillotine and you're watching Geekly Trends, where I give a few thoughts about some of the geeky trends that have gone on in the past week. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting delayed, but first... It was recently announced that Netflix is going to be producing a Witcher series based on Andrzej Sapkowski's books The Witcher, featuring Geralt of Rivia, which then inspired the Witcher trilogy of games. But I think it's really good that they seem to be focusing on the books of The Witcher and actually bringing in Andrzej Sapkowski as a creative consultant. I've read probably about half of the series of Sapkowski's Witcher books, and I enjoyed it up until a point, but then I just got kind of bored with it and I haven't picked it up again. But for the most part, I did find the stories really interesting, and a lot of the stories are actually repeated and featured in the video games themselves, even though the story of the Witcher trilogy takes place after the end of the original book series. I really do hope that Netflix makes a good Witcher series, as I think the Witcher universe and the characters in general would be great for a TV show, as there is so much content within the Witcher universe, and the character of Geralt and Yennefer and Ciri and Triss, all of those characters have so much content that it'd be difficult to have just one movie. I think it would be great spread over a series, and Netflix has definitely done some amazing series. I am looking forward to this show coming out on Netflix. But when that has happened, who's going to be the main directors, or the cast has not been announced yet. Speaking of casting news, Tom Hardy has been cast in the upcoming Venom movie. Unlike Spider-Man Homecoming coming out in July, Marvel Studios is not going to be involved in the Venom film or the upcoming Venom universe that they seem to be creating. Does that mean that Venom is going to be an entirely separate entity from Spider-Man in the MCU? Or maybe if Sony decides to be a dick about it and take Spider-Man away from MCU and reneging on their deal, they'll put Spider-Man in it. But as of now, Spider-Man has no plans of appearing in Venom, or even the Black Sable movie that they're planning after that in the Venom universe. Whether this will be connected to the MCU or not, I think Tom Hardy could be a really good choice as Eddie Brock as Venom. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but I thought Topher Grace wasn't the worst choice of Eddie Brock, but he wasn't so much the macho, muscle-building Eddie Brock that you kind of see in say the original old '90s Spider-Man cartoon. But he was more of the competing photographer against Peter Parker. But given that Tom Hardy can be a pretty buff dude, I think that's definitely the route they're going to be going. Now, there was another Venom short film a couple of years ago by the same guy that did the Punisher Dirty Laundry short film on YouTube a few years ago. It's that same director, and he did one for Venom where they actually got, I don't know the actor's name, they got the brother of Anna Paquin's character in True Blood to play Eddie Brock. And it was actually a really good video, and it was more focused on Eddie Brock than it was at Venom. Don't worry, you did see Venom come out, and it was more of this black and white kind of horror movie. But Sony has said that they do want Venom to be a kind of action horror movie with Venom. So does that mean Eddie Brock and Venom will be the bad guy of the movie, or are they going to be the main focus of it? Maybe it's going to be about Eddie Brock fighting against Venom until it eventually consumes him. But I think Tom Hardy would be a really good choice for this cast. More news about Inhumans is coming out, and recently they said that the show is going to air on Friday nights. I don't see this as a good sign, as Friday night TV shows, like that Friday night time slot, is kind of the dead zone. For the most part, most people are going to be out and about doing Friday night things, TGIF, getting drunk, going to strip clubs, whatever it is people do on Friday nights. I'm usually sitting at home watching TV shows on Friday nights, so I don't know what other people do on Friday nights, but for the most part, that I feel like that's kind of a dead air time. So already, as interested in Inhumans as I am, I'm already kind of cautious about maybe the show isn't going to go as far as we want it to. But not only that, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is also being delayed because of Inhumans, as Inhumans was going to air first, but Inhumans will only be about 8 episodes, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will air after that. I don't think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to now become Inhumans Agent Carter, where Agent Carter was kind of the the mid-season hiatus that you would watch between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it does look like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. might be taking on that Friday night time slot after the Inhumans season finale, which, again, I don't see that as a good thing. That's a dead time slot. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has already been kind of all over the place last season. As exciting as the season finale was, and as much as I enjoyed it, I don't see this as a good thing. I feel like Marvel and ABC and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and even now Inhumans are holding on by a thread that, despite ratings, they're basically renewing it for their own means. Hopefully I'm wrong in this, and that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans will be fine on a Friday night TV slot, but I'm not very hopeful. What are some trends that you'd like to talk about that happened in the week? Let me know in the comments, and share the video around so others can join in the conversation. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and check out my Patreon to support more of my future content. Visit templeofgeek.com, your one stop for all things geek, and subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching, and have fun. So Captain America, Thor, Hulk.